Friends and family, I would like to say, how are y'all doing today? It's just, I know people say this all the time, how you doing? And then they hope you don't say nothing after that. They just hope you say, all right. Because people don't really want to know what's going on in your life. But I'm not like that. When I ask you how are you doing today, I want you to reflect for a second. And I'll give you 15 seconds to reflect. Okay, it's 15 seconds. And so the reason I'm asking you that is because it's a perfect segue into the second part of do not take the prescription. Because usually when you go to the hospital, the first thing they ask you, right, is what's the problem and how you're doing. Because you're here for a reason. Right? I don't know if you just stumbled across this video. I don't know if you just was looking at a black screen on the. I mean, I'm not that good at editing right now, so I don't know what would really draw you to these videos. But I know personally why you're here, and it's because we're sick, right? And when I say sick, I'm not talking about physically. Even though you can mentally make yourself physically sick if you're not paying attention to the subtleties that's going on in the world and the environment around you. Because brothers and sisters, it's toxic. And it's designed to do one thing: to make you hate yourself. If you are a person that has melanin in their skin, everything from the time that you wake up in the morning to the time that you go to sleep is designed for you to hate yourself and to hate anything that looks like you, anything that talks like you, walks like you, stays where you stay at. It's cool for you to stay where you stayed. It's cool for you to drive what you drive. It's cool for you to have your style. But anybody that's in your eyesight that looks remotely similar to you, they the ones that don't have it right. You see? And that's by design. You haven't just come up with this on your own. You've been conditioned the entire life for such a time as this. You see, when the doctor points out, which I'm not a doctor, when the doctor points out what's ailing you and what's wrong, it gives you a chance to be honest. And this is what I want us to do today, is just to be honest. That even though you got a high rise or you driving a $500,000 car, because guess what? We get money too, right? But this channel is called Character Over Complexion. And it's called that for a reason, because that's what I believe in my mind and my heart that was given to me by the Most High to name this channel, because it's the one thing that's been lacking in our community for 500 years. Now, I'm not saying everybody had that problem. I'm telling you it's lacking. And the image that's put out around the world about us is lacking character. Because everybody wants to just look at our complexion, and complexion equals criminality. So you get mistreated. They follow you around the store. The lawmen mess with you and pull you over because everything that they've been taught as well from the time that they were young is that your complexion is a crime. Just like a bunch of pit bulls or a bunch of chihuahuas or their favorite thing, a bunch of monkeys. We all supposed to act the same way, right? If you do something on the other side of the world, somehow that's ascribed to me. But when somebody does when somebody of a lighter complexion with the absence of melanin goes around and does some atrocities, it's never associated to the masses, right? Because they own the media. They own what you see. They own what you hear. They own your perspective almost. They almost own your opinion. You ever heard this said, when I want your opinion, I'm going to give it to you? And we all laugh at that like, man, that's an angry lady, because it's usually like ascribed to a female telling a guy that, right? That she's dominating. And then when you hear stuff like that, you don't use it as in a simile and compare it to other things in life. Where if somebody's dominating you, they see fit to tell you how to think. And if I can tell you how to think, you might think you need to jump off a bridge because you don't have the new Ferrari, or you don't have, even the new iPhone, people, mine is weak, and it's different for everybody. If you don't exercise your truth and you don't exercise your mind, you break up with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, you might jump off the bridge, and people have done it. And I'm not saying this to make fun of anybody that died in that way. Of course not. What I'm doing is I'm trying to help the Most High save some. Okay, by us dealing with our situation as mature, logical human beings. So when I said in the first part, do not take the prescription, the reason that I'm telling you not to take the prescription is because the prescription leads to two things, but it needs one thing to start to grow in your mind and in your body. Because without the mind, the spirit can't really help you like it's supposed to. Because if you're doing things in an idiotic, illogical fashion, you're not going to be here long. And if you are, you're going to be in some horrible situations that will cause you to break like an egg. And we don't want to break like eggs. We want to be who we're supposed to be, and that's kings and queens. These videos is not to put a certain demographic down. All I'm dealing with is the facts. I'm not trying to put anybody down, and I'm not trying to demonize anybody or say this demographic is wicked and this demographic is good. It's not illegal for me to try to uplift my brothers and sisters. At least not yet. So the reason I say don't take the prescription, and I keep saying the prescription, because I want you to visualize a pill that you're putting in your body. A prescription is a medicine that treats your side effects. And also the prescription can cause side effects that is greater than what you're getting the prescription for if you're not careful. So what you think may fix the situation might make you far worse if you're not careful. So we're gonna deal with this, if we can, in a logical fashion. Okay? So we're just gonna jump right to it because I preluded enough. Okay? So the prescription that is given to you by society, and I'm just gonna keep inculcating this until you get it, because this is what's being done. So the prescription that society gives you basically makes you feel meaningless, worthless. And in order to get a feeling in your body and to make it seem like you're worth something, you got to fix your hair a certain way. You got to talk a certain way. Oh, you got to go get the new Balenciagas. Oh, you got to go get the new Dolce & Gabbana. You got to have the right jacket. You got to have the polo, or you got to have, the Maybach. It's based on all exterior things. This solves nothing. So, but it makes you make it through the day. Or you can, you could even get some weed, or I'm not promoting weed. I'm just saying, I'm just telling you. All these things are external devices. They will do nothing for you as far as dealing with the source. Because the prescription that's given to you by society is to produce self-hate. And when you hate yourself, it's subtle. You wonder why two so-called complexion people can get together and then in less than 5 minutes they're fighting? Do you ever wonder how it is possible for someone to make a mistake and step on someone's shoe and get killed? Do you ever wonder how someone can buy a handkerchief out of a store, bandana, whatever you want to call it, and wear these things, and if the other person bandana don't match this person bandana, they'll kill them. They'll drive by, kill babies, everything. And you wonder why things aren't getting better for us. Because we don't trust each other. And how can we trust each other when every time we get around each other and we make eye contact with each other, there's hatred there? Because the hatred is on the inside. So based on it being on the inside, you want to do something external because you're in pain. Because the prescription that they're giving us is causing pain. So when you have pain, you're going to say, ouch. And society already knows what that ouch looks like. That ouch looks like drug addiction, alcoholism, anger, murdering, killing, destroying, stealing. Anything you can think of that's destructive. It's destruction. It's from the pits of hell. And what we have to understand is first, who's giving us the prescription? And it's not only melanated and non-melanated people. This goes on to anybody that it can grab hold of. You think it's just our community? It's not. This thing doesn't care. It'll grab whoever it can grab and make you feel like you're nothing. And it will lower your self-esteem to the point to where you will do heinous things to make yourself feel better. And we already covered the side effects. Anger, and so on and so forth. You already know what it is. So I'm not going to sit here and just over and over explain this, because you know what I'm getting at. And before you try to say, hey man, Shane, that's not it. Before you try to say that, I know that's it. Because I've experienced it, and I experience it on a daily basis. Like I said, I'm chocolate. Pure Hershey's chocolate. Hallelujah for that. Because I know who I am. You see, that's why they created race in the first place. Because they want you to think that all people that's melanated are the same people. It's not. You don't believe me? There's something called the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, Zondervan Bible Dictionary. It was written in the 1800s. Do me a favor and go look up the definition of the word H-A-M, ham. And if you think all melanated people are the same people, you're mistaken. But that's for another video. I just wanted to make sure that you understand. If you're going to go do your research on that, you can go ahead. It's going to take you on a rabbit hole that'll make Alice in Wonderland blush. You see, the devices of this world is to hide the Wizard of Oz, right? Because if the Wizard of Oz can hide, he looks way more powerful, way more fierce. Doesn't even look human, right? But it's to put fear that you can't do nothing about it. It's to put the fear in you to make you say, these things are going to be this way and they're always going to be that way. But I'm here to tell you that's a lie. You have to take back your mind by refusing the prescription. You have to refuse to hate yourself. The Most High has made you exactly who you are. And he's made you that way for a reason. You don't believe me? You probably don't believe me. You're like, man, she ain't tripping. Man, this dude here is tripping. He capping. And I like to wear caps too, but I rather hats, right? I'd rather wear a hat. So you ain't got a variation for a hat. Because I don't be capping. I'm a serious man. I don't have time to play with your attention. If you're here, I take your ears very, very seriously. And I need you to understand one thing. We will rise above this. But we have to blow the horn. And we have to look at the devices that has us in chains, not physical chains. See, that's the old stuff. See, that's the old iPhone. The 2023 iPhone is for your mind. It's to make you hate yourself and everybody that look like you. Because we don't trust each other is the reason we can't build. You would tell me, man, I don't want to work with this dude. That's because you don't trust him. And if you don't trust him, you can't build. And you can't climb out the hole because it's going to take more than just one person talking. It's going to take all of us. So people say slavery is dead. Okay, this is the main part of my talk today. This is the main part of why I say refuse the prescription. And I'm sure I left some things out, but I'm just gonna talk to you. Because this is things that you need to hear and I need to say. So let's work together. Slavery is not dead. Slavery is just like that old iPhone. Remember when the cell phone came out? It was big enough. You know, you needed to carry it in your trunk when the cell phone first came out. You needed, to do a team lift on it. Now that thing's so small, it's so efficient that it listens to you. My cell phone not only listening to me because I'm recording. If I wasn't recording, it would have still been listening to you. You ever been talking to somebody in your phone say, oh, I didn't hear that response. Oh, I didn't quite make that out because it thought you was asking it something? That's because it's always listening. See, slavery ain't dead. Slavery has evolved, just like your phone. Just like the cars. It's not horse and carriage anymore. You just put your foot on the gas and you can get where you're going. But as we talk about that, what I want you to understand, since we, take a little sidebar for a second, I'll get back to slavery. What I want you to understand, if you don't think that I'm saying something to you that means anything, what I want you to think about right now how do you feel? Are you angry? Are you mad at somebody that lives around you that may wink at your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and your anger is so much so you wanna harm them people? Is there somebody do something to your kids at school today where you want to drive over there and drive through the school? Especially if they look like you. Doesn't it just irk you just a little more? Isn't it already programmed in your mind if you hurt somebody that look like you, you're going to be able to get away with it, right? You're going to serve less time. Because America's, as great as this country is, its favorite pastime is not baseball. It's racism, right? The cars, when we used to have to take a trip back in the days, right? Used to have to load the buggy, has to get hay, all the provision for the horses and everything to carry you where you was going. You could have been going 20 miles up the road. That took about a week. You understand that? And then you might have had wildlife and all that you had to pull out. Right? When you sent a letter back in the days, you probably tied it up to a pigeon and hope it got where it was going. Or if you sent it in the mail system, there's no way to know that it got there because it took so long. The only way you know your mail got where it was going is when you got a reply. The original pen pal. Right? So let's look at travel. Now you can get from here and 1,000 miles away from here. Because me and my girl, we just come back from Hawaii. So that's a couple thousand miles away from where we flew from. We was there in 11 hours. That was about 4,100 miles. So this is why I bring this up. If everything is faster, cars faster, you can go 20 miles in 20 minutes versus 2 weeks. You can send an email or receive an email where mail used to take weeks. You can travel on an airplane where that's even faster than your cars. And you can get wherever you're going in hours, which would have took months. If everything is faster, why are people still on the road speeding in the morning to go to work? If everything is faster, why hasn't your life improved? Why aren't you rich? The reason I'm pausing is because I'm asking you a question and I wanted to you have at least have a thought formulate versus just listening to me talk. I want you to at least think about what I'm asking you. Why are you not rich? Why are you still in a rush to go to work? See, the reason I'm asking these questions is because people think slavery is dead. Slavery is not dead. Slavery has evolved. It's out of sight. For some people, it's physical. For some people, it's abstract. And I want you to see that the prescription and self-hate funnels you into the prison system. It can either be you working a job that that you don't want to be at, and on a more extreme term, you could be in the front of a judge and he hitting the gavel saying, "Life!" Because you're too cool to work for $15 an hour, right? That'll ruin your rent. But you'll go work for 15 cents a day. What brought you there? Self-hate. You know what self-hate does? The number one thing self-hate does is it makes you angry. And I can tell you what, something that's so subtle that self-hate does to you, that is devastating. It takes you patience. It robs you of your patience. You see how many accidents we have on that road every day? Now I'm sitting in my 18-wheeler. I'm sure you're hearing the cars passing by. I don't need to hide that from anybody. I'm an owner operator. I own my truck, I own my trailer. I work for myself. I contract to blah, blah, blah. Now that part ain't your business. But I want to share with you that it took time to break that mental conditioning, to believe in myself enough to step out and fail and believe the Most High would come and help me succeed. I'm gonna let that marinate on you for a second. I cried so many tears in this truck. If they would have stacked one upon each other, it would have drowned me. Over time, my tears have become lessons. But if I had not had His mercy and grace on my life, I would not have had the patience to persevere. You see, everybody that has self-hate has no patience. You need patience to have a proper mind, for your mind to grow, for your mind to expand, for you to have proper relationships. When you meet a girl, when you meet a boy, and you want to grow a life with these people, when you have a child, when you have a plan. If you have self-hate, you're going to ruin everything and sabotage everything, because it's going to rob you of your essential thing, which is patience. Patience will keep you from being a slave. You don't think the people know that? You don't think they know that? Okay, let's expound. Let's hope you got your flippers in your air tank. Let's dive into that a little bit. All right? If you're still with me, God bless you. Hallelujah. And I pray He gets this through your mind to where it permeates your soul, to where you can have a spiritual relationship with Him. Like I said, I'm not trying to convert you. I'm trying to keep you from being a slave. Because self-hate will drag you to hell. It will drag you to prison here, and it'll drag you to the other prison in the next life. Okay? Patience is a virtue. When you meet somebody that you're dating, I know the thing is, in this microwave society, everybody want everything now. Bing! They want it now. See, back in the days, they used to have to get the chicken, get the pigs, get the cows, whatever. I know pigs is unclean. I got that. But I'm just telling you, this is what it used to be. Okay, and when you broke, busted, and disgusted, you're just gonna eat because you're starving. But it was a process. Okay? You had to get the chicken, wring his neck, defeather him, cut his head off, soak him for a little while so you can get the rest of the feathers off. Right? It was a process. Way before you even started cooking, you had to cut him open and get the guts and all that stuff out. And you know, hopefully it's not making you squeamish. I need you to stay focused on what I'm saying to you. I need you to stay with me right now. I need you to remember your friend Patience. I need you to remember that right now. Because without it, you're going to burn. You're going to burn without it. You're going to be somebody's slave. And you might mess around and sleep with somebody's husband or somebody's wife. You're going to steal, you're going to kill, and you're going to destroy. Because you're not patient enough to allow the Most High to bring it about in your life in His time. You don't get ahead of it. Remember when Christ fed the thousands of people? And they said, oh, this is the prophet that's supposed to come into the world. And he sensed they was going to take him and make him king. What did he do? He got away from him. He went in the mountain because he knew that wasn't the Father's plan. He said, he knew he was a king, but he was going to let the Father bring it out in his own time. He showed patience. Without patience, there's no such a thing as great men or women. You have to have it. The ones of y'all that's married or have a boyfriend or girlfriend, this is for you. When you're dating somebody, take your time, get to know them, have patience. What are you in a rush for? See, the world is so noisy and everybody's in such a rush that you don't have time to think. Somebody push on you at the store. Somebody step on your shoes. You're in such a rush to make a decision or to make an example out of somebody that the only time you think about what you've done is when you're in the back of a cop car on your way to jail. Oh, because you got disrespected, right? If you would have used patience in that situation, you would have understand that maybe so you got disrespected. But you can clean those shoes. You know they got guys doing 25 years to life for a smudge on their shoes? They'll never see another pair of Jordans again where they're at. You know how many pairs of new Jordans they could have bought in the time that they took somebody's life from doing 25 to life in prison? And you're going to tell me, oh, he got a temper. He don't have a temper. He don't have any patience. Because you think he's concerned about what the people think about him? Because he don't have any patience. Take your time. You're going to be all right. Who cares if somebody think that you're soft or whatever the case may be? That's not as bad of a disrespect as having your freedom taken from you. When you want to talk about some disrespect, that's disrespect. You're a free man with some shoes on your feet, and you're going to give your freedom away because you never had the patience to address that situation the proper way. You don't have the patience to, if the people laughing at you, to prove them wrong. Everything don't have to be right now. The only people that's concerned about being laughed at by the people that's around is the people that stay in an 8-mile radius their entire life. If you travel, you can't take your reputation with you. You have to go everywhere and start over. You have to look people in the eye that you never looked in the eye before. So you have to have courage to do that. But some way, somehow, when they give us a prescription of self-hate, we think we got to go prove ourselves in some concrete and bars in a damn jailhouse with no freedom, working for 15 cents a day, fighting to keep people off your behind with men all day. Why would you do that? Go home and start over. You're going to be better in the morning. But it takes patience to do that. It takes self-work to do that. It takes that. You have to be worth more to yourself than to go out in a blaze of fire. Like they tell you in the movies, like they tell you in the rap songs. The people steadily pushing this stuff on us all day. And that's why so many of us falling by the wayside and we don't like ourselves, so we can't like each other. But we cool with everybody else. We get in the door for other people that don't have our complexion. If they bump into us, we're not going to kill nobody because it's not built into us to do that. Because your whole life you've been programming to hate yourself. You were never meant to be that. You are a king. A king is not a slave. Do you know that? What me and my wife have been building, it's took us over 13 years. That's patience. When me and my wife met, we courted for over 6 months before we made love the first time. To some of y'all, that's a long time. To some of y'all, it's not long enough. But I know it's more than 80% of y'all. So if you want to get critical, go right ahead. But I know we did better than at least 80 to 85% of y'all. That's patience. She's my best friend. There's nothing wrong with your woman being your best friend. That comes with patience. Because you have to take your time. It's not illegal. And what they give you when you're a slave, they give you time. But you hate yourself too much to have to take your time out here in the free world. But you can take a toothbrush and shine some shoes in the prison and clean a floor because somebody stepped on your shoes. And you said it was disrespect, but that's because you was in the front of a certain crowd and you was listening to a certain music. And you've just watched certain movies. And you live in a certain area. All these things are programmed to make you a slave. If you want to know what real disrespect is, I'll tell you. If you can see me, I got my hand in the air. I'll answer this one for you. Real disrespect is when they take your freedom and they strip you down and you butt naked in the front of some men. And the first thing they do is make you bend over with your buns out and tell you to cough to see if something gonna come out of your behind. And they're not looking for doo-doo. And you walking in a line after that, after they figure you not bringing nothing into the jail, and you walking nut to butt. I ain't talking about no candy bars either. I'm talking about your nutsack is right on the other man's buttocks. They conditioning you to be a homosexual so that your time in there is gonna be pleasant. But you ain't getting no females. You might see them through the glass. You better hope a guard plays with you. But that's so far in between, right? Right? Why would you do that to yourself? That's why I say don't take the prescription. You don't take the prescription, you're not going to end up a slave. If you don't take the prescription, you're going to keep your side effects. I mean, not the side effects. You're going to keep your source. You're going to treat the source of what your problem is, what my problem is. Because I'm no better than you. I'm not perfect. This is not what this is about. We have in a congregation, we have an open communication, and we're just talking about the things that ail us as a community. And we need to bring back brotherly love. I'm not talking about that stuff that you see on TV. I'm talking about the real thing. Start with yourself. And think about the things that would make you have the best life ever. And I'm not talking about the girl next door that's with this guy, and I'm not talking about the guy down the street that you want to go break in the house and rob. Get that out of your mind. What can you do that will take you time to build to where you ain't got to look over your shoulders? That's what I want you to think about. And I don't care if you're 40, 50, 60 years old, you're not going to fool me and tell me you out of time. Because if you have that mentality, they'll keep your best years. They'll make you a slave and they'll keep your best years. And you tell it to the people in there that you didn't want to take your time. You was tired going to the family events, the family gatherings, because maybe you didn't have enough money to buy a certain pair of pants or a shirt with somebody else's logo on it that you're making rich. Slavery is big business. That's why your rappers always talking about it. Why you think big companies signed them? And they go out there and they tell you, oh, I sold my soul. Why are they telling you that? You know what they mean when they're telling you they sold their soul? They're telling you what they put not is to destroy you. So when you put that music on and you start bobbing your head to it, you basically coming into agreement with it. Because when you nod your head forward and backwards, have you noticed that's how you say yeah? So whatever he's saying on the song, you're saying yeah to, and you come in agreement with that, and these things will find you. Because the people that's giving you the prescription, they know the truth. That's why they always say, we're the illuminated ones. What they're trying to tell you, they know something your behind don't know. Maybe they pulled a curtain over your eyes. In the Wizard of Oz, the reason I say this is because a lot of y'all watch these or read these, but you missed the lesson. In the Wizard of Oz, the wizard would be the illuminated one, right? Because he know that you're scared for nothing. That's just a scared man just like you. And if you could figure out how to get the chains off of your mind, you can compete. But you have to put in effort. It's not going to be easy, but you got to try. But you got to identify first. Then when you try, you're going to be trying and you're going to get results. Because if you go start lifting weights and you don't lift them properly, a trainer will show you how to properly get them, what the proper motion is. And then you get the results you want, because they know how to get the results based on the areas that you're trying to work on. Has a certain, you have to lift it a certain way. I don't know the right word at this moment, but you have to lift it in that zone to get the most effectiveness, and you have to do it the same way every time. But the people that tell you they sell their soul, you still go buy their music. They basically telling you they're not on your side. If you do what you see them doing, it's gonna destroy you. If you take the image up that they putting you out on, it's gonna destroy you. When they're showing you those stacks of money and all this stuff that somebody else gave them to show, now we in 2023. Everybody got bank accounts and debit cards. Why you think they're showing you the visual money? Because it's a trigger for your mind to steal your patience. Because you compare yourself to those people. And you try to figure out why you're not holding a stack of money when everybody using debit cards. The billionaires don't do that. But I tell you what we need to start trying to do is trying to figure out who owns these companies. Because these are the ones that hired a person to set you up. And if you go back and you trace it back, you're going to realize that everybody that owns these companies or these rappers that you love have a stake in private prisons. And that's their mascot for their team. And their team is the criminal justice system. So their mascot is going to get you to come to the game and rile you up and get your monkey ass thrown in jail and take your thrown in prison and take your freedom. So the people that you like in the movies, in the rappers, especially the rappers, they don't care about you. They're getting paid that money to get you locked up and to take your freedom and to take the options of you to be productive out here, the option for you to vote, the option for you to create children, the option for you not only to create children but to raise children in a productive fashion. They're robbing you of the most important thing you have, and that's a right to fly your own plane. So when you identify with these idiots, you're taking the prescription. And when you take their prescription, it produces self-hate. Self-hate robs you of your patience. Once your patience is gone, your next step is slavery. I don't know how you're going to arrive at there. You're going to either on the road, or you're going to take somebody's life, you're going to steal something from somebody, or you're going to destroy somebody's property. But there's only one place, and that's prison. And prison equals slavery. And our culture is the only ones that's idiotic enough to celebrate being a slave. The same things our ancestors fought for, we celebrating it and glorifying it. Hey, look, I don't care, I'm a fool. Yeah, that dude a fool, man. He did X, Y, and Z. He in trouble. Last time I checked, trouble is not good. But if you believe what they say, all you got to do is think about what you've been seeing your entire life. Every time you've seen one of our ancestors, they was always in chains. So all you do is look, oh, this was in chains, oh, they were slaves, they was in chains, they was in chains, and all you see is people in chains and people getting hung and all that. These are things you do to criminals. All the stuff that America did to our ancestors is stuff you do to criminals. These people were kidnapped. The criminals were the ones that did the kidnapping, not the ones that was kidnapped. It's inverted. Take back your mind. Take back your mind. And you will take back your freedom. You will take back your peace. And you will hear his voice. And when you hear his voice, listen. Do what he says. Because you've been doing what everybody else said. You programmed like a robot out here. You old hoe out here. You a whole hoe out here. Take back your mind. Be a man. Be a woman. But understand there's a trap set for you. And if you continue to take the prescription and you wear the high skirts and you come out looking like a harlot, you're going to draw the wrong attention. And the wrong attention is going to get you in a bad situation. Because the people that they got flashing their buns and their breasts and all this stuff out here, these people don't mean you no well. And they'll tell you they're in the Illuminati. You see, we so crazy that somebody can tell us that they're put in place, that they're a puppet, and they put in place to destroy everything about our lives. And we'll still support them. There's nobody else like that in the world. where the people can be bought to betray them. You try that with the Hispanics, they'll kill you. You try that with the Caucasians, they'll kill you. You try that with the Japanese people, they'll kill you. They're not going to turn on their people. Look around. You think it's a culture. That's why they call it a trap. But we're the only ones that's dumb enough to glorify the people that came out to trap us. And we wonder why it's been 500 years and we're still in the same situation. Look no further than the person you see in the mirror. Because we can't get better if you don't get better. This is my attempt to change the reflection you see. And to see that crown on your head. And instead of feeling worthless, feel important. Because if people set this much stuff up to make you fall or to make you stumble, how awesome are you that they spend billions and trillions of dollars every year to make you hate yourself? What are they trying to stop? But just imagine if you decided to love yourself and to play to the level of your competition and to concern yourself with mature things. You would see that you are a celebrity of the highest kind, because nobody that's ever lived have your fingerprints. If you go bust a window or go break something right now and leave your fingerprints behind, they're coming for you. That's your manufacturer's ID code. That whoever made us and whoever made you and whoever made me, there's only one of you. And you have a purpose. If we were born out of apes and everything else like that, you wouldn't have your own unique set of fingerprints throughout everybody that's ever walked this earth. You are unique. That's your barcode. Walk like a king. Walk like a queen. Refuse the prescription. Love yourself. And don't fall for slavery. It's time for us to break the stereotypes and to manifest our character over complexion. That's my time, family. I love each and every one of y'all. I pray that this hits home, because I'm speaking to you from the heart and love over the airways. And my job is to sow the seed. That's it. We made out of the dust of the ground. Life is not always going to be sunshine. It's not always going to be rain. But if you had it your way, you would have sunshine all the time. And if there's no rain, everything would be dead. The sun would dry everything out, everything would die. Beautiful day every day. Nothing would live. The rain is just a part of life, because the ground and the dust needs the rain just as much as it needs the sun. So there's going to be some things that's going to cause you some trouble in your life, but just remember, that's part of growth. Don't be mad at me for this message. If it bothers you, let it be like the rain in your life. That way, when the sun comes out, there's going to be some growth. Just like the sun and the moon. It's not going to always be daytime. It's not going to always be night. They work together for your edification. To the glory of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I pray you well, even as your spirit is well. And I pray for peace in your life. I pray for understanding in your life. I pray for comprehension for you. To understand the things that were designed to collapse you, to destroy you. And my prayer is even higher than that, that you see the things that are designed to bring you up into the heavens. And the love that was put forth for you to reach heaven. I conclude with that, family. Shalom.